Hello, Algebra 2. Thank you for your responses in the last few days between yesterday and last night. This even like kind of throughout the day. I know it's kind of weird for me to be talking right now because when it was happening and when it was. But thank you for letting me know when you want to take your test. A couple things that are going to happen, and again, the next few days, I'm going to kind of reiterate these every day. Because of when you signed up for that, I am probably going to have you be in like a video chat with me most of the time as you're working on it. I got to figure out exactly all the details of that. But if you told me that you want to take it in the morning session, and again, I mentioned that morning session, I will be very clear tomorrow when we post again. But like morning session, I'm thinking is going to start at 9 a.m. That means at 9 a.m. you will like be emailing me, say, Miss Jabs, I'm here. Your test is going to be distributed, all that stuff. I know that I could video chat with you. You know how to use your video chat. I could randomly call you and I can pop up and see what you're working on and what you're doing, see if you have any questions, and I can rotate around the few people again between the different testing sessions of who's doing what when. Guys, our test is not going to be tomorrow. That's Wednesday. I'm kind of thinking that our test is going to be Thursday, just because that way we can make sure everybody's kind of on base. It gives us a few other days. Today is the last day I have something to review anyway. But that way it gives us one more day today to review, tomorrow to maybe ask any questions. So here is your point for the day. Since our test is going to be, looks like on Thursday, tomorrow would be the last day that you could ask me questions. But that means today when you're watching the video is when you have to kind of give me questions. So if you have any questions, you are going to email me. That's wrong. I shouldn't say that. You are going to email me. If you are feeling very comfortable about this chapter, you're just going to say, hey, Miss Jabs, this chapter looks great. I'm ready for the test. And that counts. If you really are still getting confused on how to solve when you're solving for the angle, you're going to say, Miss Jabs, I need more examples. I need you, tomorrow's video needs to have more examples of solving for the angle. Miss Jabs, I don't know how to do it when you are supposed to find all three sides. Can we actually, because I haven't gone through one of those in a long time. Miss Jabs, the pattern for the 30, 60, 90, and 45, 40, and 5, 90 is still kind of tricky to me. Can you do a few more? So your email is going to be dated at the top. It's going to say March 31st, questions for my test. That's going to be the subject. And then in the actual email, you're going to give me what question you want me to cover on the test review tomorrow. It can be, Miss Jabs, I don't have any questions. I'm ready for the test. I could take it right now. It could be, the only one I have trouble with is trig ratios. I don't know how to find trig ratios. Guys, that's just SOHCAHTOA. Like opposite is 5, adjacent is 7. So 5 over 7 or whatever. For whatever one you're trying to find, okay? I just made stuff up. I have no idea what I actually said 2 minutes ago. But you look at the triangle and decide what's opposite, what's adjacent. We actually did that before we left on our little mini break here away from school. I called on kids in the class and I said, what are your initials? And I put their initials and I said, what's opposite of this angle and stuff like that. So, but I'm willing to go through anything that you have questions on. The last review I have today, that it's going to just be short. I'm not necessarily going to do one. There's only 3 questions posted on it for the classroom for today, is the word problems. And guys, most of you are making word problems just a little bit trickier than what you need to, okay? Here's the deal. I can guarantee you that you are going to get a right triangle when you do this problem, okay? You are going to get a right triangle. When we were doing it when I was doing the video, it was Carlos was standing so far from a building. So here's the building and here's Carlos, right? I mean, yeah, it's not necessarily the greatest right triangle and you don't see it yet, but if you know that Carlos is looking towards the top of the building, and sorry if my line does not look exactly straight and I made a few dashed lines, there is a right triangle, okay? Somebody is standing at the top of like the Sears Tower or something like that, at a lookout thing on a water tower or something like that. And so they're standing at the top. Somehow when I was drawing this, their face got really, really big, guys. So please ignore that. Okay? So here's a person standing at the top of some tower. And their friend is down at the bottom working on something. Oh man, now that person looks just kind of crazy. But they're doing jump rope apparently or something because of how I tried to circle the person at the bottom. Notice these 2 drawings look a lot the same. But this one is when this guy looks out and looks down at his friend we kind of get the inverted triangle, like we could get the triangle that way instead, because there's two of them. And actually, if you look at this, now you see a rectangle and things are like that, okay? So I do not have this typed anywhere, but I'm going to make up a quick problem so we can know what it is, okay? And we know how to work this problem. So please maybe listen through this problem with me, and then you can go work on it and send me the email. But we know that a building in downtown Cleveland, I'm totally making this up, I really don't know it. We know that a building in downtown Cleveland is 225 feet tall, okay? And when we're taking a little tour of downtown Cleveland, Miss Jabs gave us these cool measuring tools so we can look at the top of the building and measure what the angle of elevation is. So we have no idea how far we are standing away from the building, okay? Here's the building. It's 225. You're standing away from it. We don't know how much. But when you use that little tool I gave you, that little tool tells you that that when you measure the angle from where you're standing to the top of the building is 48 degrees. Okay? So you know it's a 48-degree angle of elevation to the top of the building. You know the building is 225 feet tall, and you're trying to figure out how far away from the building you are. So we're trying to figure out question mark. According to 48, you go across, we have the opposite. You go next to it, but it's not the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse would be across from the base of the building. So we have opposite and adjacent, which means I would be using tangent. I'm going to be using tangent here to solve. Tangent of theta. Tangent of theta, I already wrote that. So the angle is 48 degrees. So I'm going to write the tangent of 48 degrees equals, opposite would be 225 feet. Adjacent is what I don't know. I'm going to call it x in my problem. Remember, when my unknown is in the denominator, I just do that little swap to solve it. And so I would get x equals 225 feet divided by the tangent of 48 degrees. And so using my calculator, and guys, there's a couple of you who have been doing stuff. Before we take the test, you probably want to make sure that you know that you're getting the right things on your calculator. So if you've been doing stuff and you're not getting the same answer I'm getting, you probably want to go through and make sure that you know how to use your calculator. I see 202.5909. Remember, we're supposed to round to the tens place. So 202.6, since our unit was feet, I would write feet. And then I would say something like, I am standing, because it's a word problem, I need a sentence, 202.6 feet away from the building. And that's it. You got 3 word problems for today. If you're still having trouble with word problems, try to reach out and talk to me. There's going to be a few of you that I talked to because yesterday you were supposed to email me what time, what session you would want to take the test during, and I don't always hear back from everybody on those daily questions. So I'm going to be reaching out to you pretty particularly. It's going to say, read this email, respond to Miss Jabs. There might be some phone calls that some of you are getting to try and talk to you about when you want to take your test. So please make sure that you're working on that and emailing me if you have questions on the word problems, because sometimes they are tricky, but I promise you, if you get the drawing, it's going to be a right triangle, and then you can use your right triangle trig. Thanks, guys. Miss seeing you. Hope you have a good day. Let's get ready for that test on Thursday. Thanks.